All right then, so this is Natana. He has come a long way inside for creative since he jumped in. Got some really quick wins with some adjustments and tweaks to what he was up to. Um, Still smashing it. Still got some way to go. But yeah, he's here today to chat a little bit about how he succeeded in the program and his experience. So Natana, if you want to say a few words and introduce yourself, the floor is yours, mate.
Thank you, Reese. Yeah, happy to have a good conversation about progress so far in the four creatives. I jumped on board early this year after didn't take much deliberation, honestly. I knew I needed it. But yeah, I'm based down here in Australia, on the Sunshine Coast, and have been creating films for businesses, small businesses in my area for about 2 years now. And yeah, have come from a place of photography where that was all I offered, moved into videography by demand of clients, and couldn't quite figure out how to get my own offering together, and what kind of strategy clients needed for it to be a guaranteed success, essentially. So yeah, spent about a year and a bit fumbling around, just cutting together videos. Whatever they asked for, I would just get it together and deliver it, learn on the job. And I was quite happy to follow their own direction and just give them what they asked for. But I got to a point where I wanted to go and chase my own clients and have something decent that I could offer and stand by. And I didn't know kind of what kind of strategy I needed to be sharing with them, what kind of um, benefits they could get from video and marketing and that sort of thing. So when I saw my first piece of content from Reese, it was information on uh, what clients want from a videographer, and it wasn't that they wanted what I was offering, which was just a reel here, maybe a short clip video there to cover an event they might have run. But what they did want was someone to solve their marketing funnel problems. So have something at each point in their process that would nurture the customers through the journey. And I had some ideas about this being a good way to create video and do marketing for clients, but I'd been taking pieces of information from all sorts of sources, as we do. There's YouTube University, there's all of the other people we might follow who do create and have successful businesses, but pulling it all together, I couldn't quite figure it out. So I could tell Reese had the whole process under his belt from his personal experience, but then also teaching others. I could see that many of others were able to do what Reese has achieved just by following a certain set of steps. So yeah, that first piece of content distilled everything that I'd taken on board over a year or so and just put it into one super concise reel. And then from I followed, went through the free training video, and Reese's follow up was super quick and direct. So I was probably a hot lead, but Reese was straight onto it and knew to reach out, get on a call, do a bit of a discovery process, and find me as a good fit for Forked Creatives, and vice versa. Forked Creatives was perfect for me and just what I needed. So that's how I jumped on board and saw some wins within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, mate, they came in pretty hot and fast, those wins with you. And that's what's really important as well, is that it aligned for us and it also aligned for you. Like I always say this, and I've probably said this in one of these videos before, but it's always a case of exactly that. It's got to align for both people. It's not a case of just getting anyone through the door because, for many reasons, but I want it to be a quality community. So when we do jump on calls, everything that's been said by everyone is of high value, or it's a legitimately good question that can be answered well by myself or someone else. So yeah, man, you're a great part of the community, and it's great to have you on board. And obviously, you had, like I said, some fast wins at the start. So What about, well, I suppose, could you tell me, without going into it in too much detail, but how that process went when you jumped in?
Yeah, yeah. So the process from from onboarding was first to meet the community and say hello. Creatives uh, comes in three parts really. The first is the community, the second is the course, and the third would be the one-on-ones with Reese, where you get um, personal coaching. So yeah, kicked off by first just say hello to the community and meeting everyone. Same thing. Uh, Also kicking off with the personalized coaching calls, which were just priceless. Yeah, I've never quite had anyone take a look at the way I was doing things and guide me with, with really direct, actionable steps to take just to make some progress. Um, I think it might come with the space being a solo video creator where you're trying to get your own business running. It's quite rare that you get someone to take a look into your process, where you've come from and where you want to go, and tell you how to do it. So Reese's personal coaching was priceless in that regard. And then the third component is the course. So when you jump in, you get full access to all of the phases that you want to go through to be able to deliver a a return on investment for your clients. And that starts with building the foundation of a strong mindset to be able to do the process, and then takes you through education on things like what the marketing funnel is, how it functions, where video fits into that, and how it can deliver value for your clients. So by taking all those steps, you actually know and understand where you're coming from when you're selling to your clients, and you can help them see that as well. So when the time came to actually talk to my clients about what I was offering, the course content is where I was speaking, doing the work involved as well, and going through those processes. I was then able to speak to my customers from using what Reese had delivered to us. So yeah, that was how I got started, and yeah, only a week or two in, I was kind of racing through the course to get to the proposal delivery step, or how to put a package together for a client. Because um, yeah, I guess actually the first big win from the course was a little nugget of information, was that it is going back to your existing clients who you've identified to be high value and worth working for. And that's what I did. So my first step was to go back to some clients who I'd worked for, and kind of present this brand new strategy that I'd kind of figured out thanks to the course.
Yeah, mate, that's where the quick wins come in for like anyone listening. It's like the low-hanging fruit. It's just repositioning how you approach people who already know you, like you, trust you. Those are the fast wins, and then after that, the bigger wins then come in, later on from the systems. But that's then indefinite into the future. So yeah, man, awesome, good stuff. Lovely to hear it as well, and it's been awesome to see your progress. You've been one of those guys who's just been full of questions and applied the answers straight away, and just been really interested to learn and here to learn, and you haven't put anything in your own way, because that can happen sometimes. People don't necessarily, not everybody's coachable, really, but a lot of people are. Obviously, most of the people in the program are, and they just listen. And the ones who listen to the very clear instructions are the ones who get results quite quickly, because the bottom line is we've all cracked the process here, and it really really works. So well done, man. Honestly, big huge well done. It's been great to be a part of that as well. So what would you say then? What would you say the biggest, like, have you had any mindset shifts during your time in the program?
Yeah. Oh, massive. So many. One came to mind earlier. It was just like how much value we're actually offering, and how much value I was leaving on the table prior to this. So I was able to like 10x what I was charging for the same amount of work just by knowing and understanding where I was coming from and what value I was giving to the client. So just prior to this, I might have spent a day shooting and a day editing, or 2 days editing, and come out with a couple of social media pieces that they could use. And they never really fit into a wider strategy, and it was hard to know if they were actually doing anything for the client. But by spending the same amount of time and work afterwards, I was able to make sure that, with the same day shooting and a couple of days editing, I was able to deliver something that actually fit into a marketing funnel and would help to convert their customers if a customer's come to my client with an inquiry, for example. This video was there to show them the whole process that lay ahead, and that just helped the conversion for that client of mine. So yeah, it's that was the biggest mindset shift, is that because we're allowing our customers to generate more revenue for their businesses, we're able to charge more for it, and it's not just a little piece that lives on a social media feed for a short time. So yeah, I think that was a big shift and has changed the way I look at work now. Like I don't want to be filming anything that doesn't fit within a wider strategy. So yeah, I think from now every piece I do is going to at least connect somewhere along the customer journey. Something will feed to it, and it'll lead onto something else, which I think, yeah, is what's most valuable.
Amazing. Love it, man. And I always like to ask that question, and I always talk about mindset literally all the time, probably bore people with it. But and I always circle back around to this. So apologies if I'm repeating myself, but it is a case of what we're doing is so incredibly valuable and helpful for people. It's beyond video. It's beyond like working relationships. There's one way you could look at it, to provide another person with that much value and open up that many doors for them potentially. It's just I always remind you guys of this. It's just a great thing to do human to human. It's a great thing to be able to do human to human. And it just so happens in today's world that we're all living in, we're able to do that with video because everyone's watching video. So it's just an awesome thing to be able to do. And yeah, and that's what I always circle that back around to mindset, what we're able to actually do for people. And that's why, mindset is such a big part of the program. Um, yeah, man. All right, cool. Well, I mean, I got a few questions written down, but I think you've pretty much covered everything. Not to be honest, mate. Is there anything you'd say to anyone now watching this in a similar position to where you were before you joined, who is thinking of jumping in?
Yeah, for sure. For me, the reason I was so glad I did it was similar to what I mentioned earlier. I had been consuming so much information, but couldn't figure out how to bring it together, and couldn't make myself effective when it came to seeking out leads, um, you know, learning about their problems and strategizing how to solve them with video, and then going on to do that. None of that was ever in my mind of how to do. So um, the most value I got out of this was just seeing how to bring it all together and seeing a process to follow. And just by doing the work, um, the rest followed. So yeah, I would definitely recommend anyone jump on if they feel like they've done as much as they could themselves, but they could use some coaching and a process to follow. This would definitely help.
Yeah, amazing. And I think you summarized it well there. And what I'd add is like it just to summarize coaching, it's just speeding up the process. That's all it is. It's just providing you listen and everything, but it's just whatever your goals are, it's just arrive. You just pull in that goal closer to the present. That's it. That's how you should look at the investment in yourself. And speaking of investments, Are you happy then with the with your return on the investment you put into the program?
100%. It came back within my first job, and the investment prior to making the investment, my way of working would have taken about 10 jobs to get that much money, right? But as soon as I was, in the mindset of selling a higher value solution, the money just covered itself. It was all sorted.
Love it. Love it, man. Great answer. Great to hear your progress. It's all just really positive, and I'm really glad I was able to be a tool in this process with you, man. So thank you for jumping in the program. Thank you for jumping on this call. Um, and yeah, man, I think we'll cut it there. But yeah, man, I appreciate the time.
Thanks, Reese. Appreciate it.